Hey guys, welcome to another video on the Inside Spurs channel, and happy Thursday morning. I hope we're all okay. I hope we are all right. I hope, obviously, after yesterday's performance, we're continuing on in a fashion of good mood. Obviously, yes, we play again in a few days' time now on Sunday away to Tamworth. That preview will be out tomorrow, just to give you a heads up. But in this video, we are talking about some news surrounding Randal Kolo Muani, and Spurs is interested in getting it done ASAP. We're going to be talking about Marcus Rashford and plenty of stuff coming out about his situation and his potential transfer away from Manchester United. And on top of that, we'll be talking about Milan Skriniar. Again, clubs interested in him and what that situation looks like. So there's plenty to get into, plenty to talk about. Just want to say, if you watch this, you know, subscribe. You're very much welcome to join us for the journey. Morning Spurs, morning Adiz, Dragon, Sonia, Azza. How are we all? How are we all? And I hope everyone's still in a good mood after yesterday. I hope everyone's still in a good mood. What a morning it is, Jake. What a morning it is. So let's talk really about the Randal Kolo Muani situation. So look, last time we talked about this deal, to give you a backstory in case you aren't aware of the situation. So for some of you that are up to date on it, just bear with me for just 30 seconds, all right? The situation is obviously Spurs' supposed top target is Randal Kolo Muani at the moment. That is supposed. Make sure we listen to that word clearly on that. And talks are somewhat progressing with Randal Kolo Muani's camp, okay? That doesn't mean, obviously, all that much nowadays in football. I think personal terms with footballers are quite easy to do. It's more about the club negotiations. Now, the idea is that PSG would like to let him go this window. They're happy for him to move on. They've said to him, go and get yourself a club. We'll deal with the club on the other end, but you go and find the club that you want to go to, okay? Now, there was talks of Juventus. There's talks of Manchester United. We have updates surrounding those two clubs and players, you know, going to and from, okay, which we'll come to in a bit. We're not talking about it here and now. And with that, Spurs supposedly pretty much done on the personal terms. So Dean Jones Soccer is his handle, by the way. Dean Jones saying that on January 7th, so 2 days ago, saying that Spurs have been boosted in the race to sign PSG striker Randal Kolo Muani. He followed up yesterday about 5:30 in the afternoon, saying that Spurs are moving fast to beat the competition. They want to close it out this week. Now, that sounds promising. Morning Nakoma, Chris, Rope, Luke, Adventurous, Liam, how are we all? Call him Kinky, good lord. But no, on that side of things, obviously Spurs having an attitude surrounding the idea of, hey, let's get this deal done ASAP. We have confidence we get this deal done ASAP means there's something really to that. Now, there's always a saying that, you know, where there's smoke, there's fire, and there's always hair's a mess today, isn't it? Good lord. And there's always a situation to say things can change so quickly in football. And this is one of those situations where it could absolutely change in a heartbeat. But if we just take things on the face, on the surface, and what we're reading and what we're seeing, Spurs are in a good spot with Kolo Muani. This seems to be a player that Ange truly wants and truly thinks is going to help us. I think looking at yesterday's game, you could see someone with pace, power, and if you ever watch Randal Kolo Muani, his ability to gallop. He churns yards very quickly. Where you look at some of our players, it feels like sometimes they're struggling to cover ground. He seems to just glide. So pace is one thing he definitely has an abundance of, and I think sometimes this team, I think, somewhat misses a bit of pace. So that's a good thing. Okay, now look, we'll see how this one develops. I expect to see some more to come out about this deal, really in particular in the next couple of days. But we'll sort of see. Hey, Alexander, Dean. Any decent sources reporting Muani? A lot of decent sources, mate. A lot of decent sources. So, look, there's that on Kolo Muani flavoured news. Just want to give you a little bit of stuff on Bentancur. Bentancur, supposedly, he's doing all right. We'll obviously know probably a little bit more in the next couple of days, but he seems to be okay. He's on Instagram posting and smiling, so that's really good news, okay? I just thought I'd bring that in because it's prevalent for the situation right now. if Ange can get the Muani we knew from Frankfurt on the wing, we have a real player there. If we get well, that player from Frankfurt was a baller. Factually, he's a baller. So there is obviously something that we can hold on to, and maybe a change of scenery. I said about other players just because they didn't do well in the club sorry, just because they didn't do well for a club who spent that money on them doesn't mean they can't go elsewhere and do well. We've seen it for our own players. I said about Brian Hill, hasn't been great for us, but actually, if you have been watching this channel for any time this season, I've talked on the loan roundup where I've said Brian Hill's doing really well for Girona. Brian Hill's getting called up for the Spanish national squad. So just because maybe it doesn't work one place doesn't mean it can't work somewhere else. And I think maybe a change of scenery is exactly what maybe a player like Kolo Muani needs. Ange didn't deny it. Well, just keep on your toes. He's fast, good pressing, and can play on left, right, and the striker spot. So yeah, 100% can. I sort of said concussion. I'd say 2 weeks. I've seen Man City have agreed personal terms with Rios. Maybe we have a cheeky push with Kusanov. Well, do you know what? That's an interesting point with Kusanov. So the situation, you'll see, they're moving for Rios. So thanks for that, Dean, by the way. They're moving for Rios. Is there a point that you say, actually, is the Kusanov deal still there? Potentially. We've beaten in the last, year? I'd say in the last year. So coming from last January to now, we have beaten many a big clubs to players. Dragic was going to go to Bayern Munich. We beat Bayern Munich. Bergvall was going to Barcelona. We beat Barcelona. So I don't think it's truly shocking to say that we could get a Kusanov ahead of a Man City. I don't think it's shocking. I don't think it's likely, but I don't think it's shocking. I guess you could say, are you going to be able to guarantee him enough football? That's really the key thing. And with Vuskovic coming in the summer, Vuskovic turned down Man City for Spurs. That's another one because he was guaranteed football. Bergvall, Gray, guaranteed football. So at some point, you can't keep guaranteeing football to everyone. You can guarantee some rotation. You can't guarantee everything. Some managers ruin players. Robbie Keane at Liverpool. Yeah, that broke. That was. Do you know what? Robbie Keane going to Liverpool broke my heart. Broke my heart. Honestly, I mean, it's a bit dusty. It's a bit dusty, but Robbie Keane, frame picture. Like he was my favourite player growing up for a while. And when he moved to Liverpool, that genuinely, I've never been so heartbroken. No breakup has ever been as bad as me and Robbie Keane. It was horrible. Loan with 55 million obligation to buy is a great deal for us. I don't think it's going to be anything near that. I don't think it's going to be anything near that. Man United slightly favourites. I'm going to be talking about the Muani situation, mate, with United, because they've got some updates on the United side of things. United need to sell players, yeah. Well, we're going to be talking about Rashford, aren't we? So there's one. City after Marmoush. Yeah, I don't think we were ever going to get a Rios, for example. What time am I doing my lives? It varies. Just, make sure if you are following, hit the bell notification. I think you can adjust it to give you a warning like 30 minutes before I go live. I always try and give at least 30 minutes to go live. So, hit that and it will tell you. All right. How about Tony last night? Brilliant player. Brilliant player. And do you know what? Yeah, Ange took no credit for that transfer, by the way, I was loving that. I think some managers go, I looked at him and I really liked him and I really wanted him. Whereas actually he went, all the credit goes to Johan Lang and his team for getting this deal done. They were adamant that we get him. They really backed him. And it's about being a team, about being a team player. Don't start on Robbie Keane as an Irish Spurs fan. I feel your pain. Oh, horrible. Did I forgive him when he came back? I did. We're a good advert for all young players. We are. I mean, it's some Spurs fans obviously want the ready-to-go players right now, but, we are building. Who would I want to face in the finals? Newcastle, Abdul. I know you just got really comment, but Newcastle, because I think it'd be a hell of a final. So let's talk about Milan Skriniar first. So I saw it through L'Equipe saying that Aston Villa have inquired about a loan signing of PSG centre-back Milan Skriniar. There was also, if I can get it back up, is it this one? So there was more reports. I think this might be out of Turkey, so let's just take this with a huge pinch of salt. Saying that Galatasaray asked for a price on, I think it was Danso, but there are four players on their list still. One of them being Milan Skriniar, right? Um, I know Napoli. I think Napoli and Juventus are both keen on him as well. Which obviously for Napoli and under Conte, he's the perfect Conte centre back. I don't think he's really exactly what Motta would want in a centre back, but he'd be perfect for Conte. Which look, I am hoping we're not going to be in this one. If I'm honest, like I said, as an out and out solid defender, brilliant, great defender. You know, deep line defense, 35% possession, money, absolute money. And when we were linked to him when we had Conte, it's a guy that I truly wanted. When we linked to him, Mourinho, I truly wanted him. But there's a reason he's not playing at PSG. There's a reason why they had to go and spend like another 50 odd million on a Pacho. It's because he's not like a modern day centre back. He's not a guy who's going to be able to play out from the back too well. He's not a guy that can defend in vast areas of space like a Marquinhos or a Pacho because he's not that kind of pace. I mean, people give Dragic stick. They absolutely murder Skriniar because Dragic at least has some mobility. I saw it yesterday. Dragic had mobility. I mean, I'm not worried about his pace. Technically, obviously, people are worried about that, but obviously, I'm not going to have any stick about him after yesterday's game because he was immense. But Skriniar is a little bit more like a Dragic than he is anything else that we have. So let's not get another one in. Okay, let's just not do that. Is Skriniar our main centre back priority? I'd have to say right now, if I had to say of all the links that we've been linked to centre back wise, who've been linked to the most and who maybe is the most likely, you'd have to say the most likely one right this second would be Ko Itakura because that's we've been offered him, but we have also been told he's not one of our main options. He's a guy further down the list. So hard to say really about centre back. Obviously, we're linked to Hanko. That news has gone quiet. Juventus is still interested in Hanko. That's the only news I have on him. We've been linked to Tomori. That news has got a bit quiet. There were teams snooping around him from the Premier League. I think Brighton were one. I think Chelsea might have been one, but Chelsea are now linked to Mark Guehi. So, do you know what? I think Spurs are sort of going, look, we're going to have Ben Davies and Mickey van der Ven back within the next sort of 10 days to 2 weeks. Romero's probably another week after that. We need to fix the attack because we create chances and then just do not take them enough. Let's get an attacker who can help create chances or at least finish them off more, So I think that's maybe where their thinking is. And, obviously you don't just work on one deal at a time, right? There'll be other deals going on in the background. No club has one deal per, we're going to look at Kolo Muani only for attacker. We're going to look at Itakura only defender. They'll have 3 or 4, 5 or 6 all on the go at the same time. That's the idea, I'd rather get a young player who matches our playing style for cheap than Skriniar. We'll get someone nobody knows about, and it will be nobody on social media on the social radio. Oh, I like that, Jonathan. Hit like, guys. Support this channel. Appreciate that, Jonathan. Yeah, hit the like and subscribe if you haven't. Jonathan says so, but appreciate it. What about Ito from Frankfurt? Is that a starter? Ito? You mean the Bayern Munich centre back? Isn't Rashford loaned to Milan done? I'm coming to Rashford. I'm coming to Rashford. Don't worry, I'm getting there. He's the next story that we're going to talk about because there's a couple of bits that I want to talk about on there because there's a new club interested in him. Hey, Joshua, Matt, you all right? If Spurs get a left back, left centre back, I don't see Spurs go for a 6. Archie would take up that place. I don't mind that. I think Archie Gray's a rock star. Every time I mention him, I'm going to continue to say he's going to be a rock star. So I don't mind that. If he's going to get more minutes in towards the midfield, no issues there. I mean, the thing is, the beauty of the situation where he's had to play centre back is he's aware what the centre backs are going to be doing. He's aware of, where he would like the number 6 to be. He's aware of what the fullbacks could do. It's actually kind of the beauty that when he goes into that position of his own, he kind of goes, okay, the centre back's going to be there, centre back's going to be there, and he starts to go, I need to probably be about here. or I need to, do you know what? I need to be 5 yards more that way. And I think because of that, because of his knowledge of what these back four are doing and what the keeper maybe wants, I think he's actually going to be a way better midfielder for that, which is the irony when he's not played there. Midfielders, Johnny Cardoso and Angel Gomez. Probably Cardoso in the summer. I still think Cardoso is someone that we want now, but I think it'll be in the summer. I think Cappy would be nice, but yeah, definitely not happening. We never know who we're getting until they're through the door. I like the Muani David double swoop. Well, yeah, David is someone that we probably, I won't say we won't get, but it might be a free transfer in the summer, which if it is, okay, let's work with it. We'll definitely have some young rock stars in the making. Well, Lucas Bergvall, Starboy, isn't he? Starboy, Gray, Starboy, Mikey Moore, one of the best English talents there is at the moment. Lankshire's an absolute prolific goal scorer, just needs probably a run of games, which hopefully Tamworth might be that game. Because I wouldn't mind if Tamworth's that game and then Richie comes on for about half an hour, maybe. Yeah, because I don't know if Richie's really going to be fit enough to play like 60, 70 minutes to start off with. Let Lancashire do the running around, bring Richie on at the end, maybe for a stretch of legs. Yang, Desi Doggy's still young, Pape's still young, Mickey van der Ven, Archie Gray, Kinski. There's a lot of really exciting young players, and I've missed some as well. And that's the cool thing. I've probably missed some. Still buying yesterday win. Let's get some good chances this weekend and get a great result with Tamworth. Hopefully so. Well, the beauty thing is, right, we play Arsenal on Wednesday, 8 o'clock next week. So you have till Tuesday, 12 o'clock to get everything put through, paperwork, everything signed, all good, him through the door and training for that player to be able to play against Arsenal. So let's think about this right this second. How about we do this? Let's do a poll. Let's do a poll. Let's do new signing. And this, by the way, new signing is in through the door and able to be in the squad. Okay. So not just new signing and it's here. New signing in the squad for Arsenal. Yes or no? Let me know in the poll there whilst I read some other comments and then get to Rashford. Love and keep most talk secret. Yeah. Harder for me to create content, but it's great. I love it. Fair enough, Dean. Mikey Moore, Korean boy. Yeah. Issue Ricardo says that he could sign with another team this window ahead of our summer deal. He could do. Absolutely could do. We would make some money out of it at least. It's like an investment. You're cashing in on your investment. Richie is fit. Ange said they won't take risk. Yeah, I mean, he might not be on the bench for Tamworth. It was just a thought that, things can change. They say Archie's a locker room leader already, featuring captain. I don't hate that, Jake. I don't hate that. But yeah, for me, I think we will. I thought we'd sign our first player. I think I said like around the 17th to 20th, something like that. I said, and obviously, look, I was wrong. Kinski, no one knew about, which was lovely. It was just like, boom, Spurs signing a keeper. And I'm like, did anyone else know about this? Yeah. And everyone sort of look at each other going, did you know? Did you know? And everyone's going, I don't know. So it was really, really nice. I still think Spurs signed 2 outfield players. So I think maybe we wind up with this window being 3 signs. Because you do have to look, as much as we need to add depth and quality, you've got to think about all those players that we're getting back. I think since the first 8 games of this season, the main back 4 has played together like 15 minutes or something. I think it's like the main back 4 and Vicario have played 15 minutes together. Like, what the hell? If that's a correct stat, I don't know if it is a correct stat, but if that's a correct stat, that is ridiculous. And you got to think at some point your luck's got to come back your way. So, and I'm not talking about results. I'm just talking about injuries. That it's got to come back your way a little bit, right? And you'll get people going, actually, it's all Ange's fault because he destroys everyone's hamstrings. It's like, oh, they've all got hamstrings injuries, have they? Okay, all right, fair enough. You got to think it'll be coming back our way. So all these players that are injured are going to be coming back with those new additions. Rodrigo looked like he just passed out. Yeah, I don't know. They'll be doing tests and we'll see. Neil, we'll see. Do you think Rashford is a good fit? He had one good season. I don't think he suits what we want Ange to be. He needs to be willing to press to every corner of the pitch, and he doesn't want to do that for even his boyhood club. So why would he do it for a club he doesn't love? He's on crazy wages. I'd much rather 3 players for the wages that he's on, because he's on 325 grand a week. I'd rather 3 players for 100 grand a week who are going to help. So no, I'm personally not wanting Rashford whatsoever. So best of summer, sign Rios. Well, I don't know. They might sign Cardoso. 3 signings window would be immense. Yeah, I mean, I said 2. We're going to get 3 in my eyes. So for the most part, a lot of us think we will sign a player before the Arsenal game. Interesting. Let's talk Rashford then. Let's get in here. So, Fabrizio Romano yesterday at 4 to 11 p.m. So basically 11 p.m. last night, saying that after he had, because he put out something before saying that his camp, Marcus Rashford's camp, had a face-to-face meeting with AC Milan. He also then followed up with after AC Milan, Juventus also had direct face-to-face meeting with Marcus Rashford's brother in Italy. Initial approach is the early stages, same as with Milan. As Juventus also called for Randal Kolo Muani, Spurs are on it too. Rashford's camp will meet with more clubs soon. So this is going to be something that maybe drags on a little bit, right? So the reason I find this super, super interesting is you've got Milan aren't really involved in like our other deals, right? So this is just, I don't think we're signing Rashford anyway. But why I bring this in is because I think this is effective towards the Kolo Muani deal when you factor in PSG are linked with Dusan Vlahovic, right? Manchester United are linked with Dusan Vlahovic as well, which is the irony. But Juventus are also linked to Joshua Zirkzee, the Manchester United striker. And both clubs are linked to Randal Kolo Muani. So all of these clubs are kind of sort of circling around one another, and Spurs are just there going, "Is Kolo Muani there? Can we grab him? I'm just going to nip off. We'll grab him and we'll nip off. All right, we'll leave you guys, but yeah, all right. I think because Spurs are they're not sort of heavily featured within that trio triangle of transfer madness. I think it kind of means Spurs can kind of just go, do you mind if yeah, we'll take him. We'll just get out your hair. I think maybe that's kind of the play there. You think Carlo's going to be done by tomorrow? Interesting. I don't think we're not paying. Yeah, we're not paying Rashford's wages, Alan. I agree. Still short of wingers. That's why Kolo Muani's linked to us. I'd rather have Garnacho ahead of Rashford. Well, look, if they need to sell players for FFP, I'll go and. I mean, look, I prefer Papa Metsai over Kobe Mino. I'll have them both. Then I can love them both. Go on, we'll have him. Which, by the way, apparently Kobe Mino wants 200 grand a week. What has happened to football? Like, what has happened to football? Like, Heung-Min Son isn't on 200 grand a week. Heung-Min Son is a golden boot winner. Kobe Mino's played a season. And look, he looks a really good talent. I'm not denying that. But 200 grand a week. How long did it take for Harry Kane to get to 200 grand a week? And Harry Kane, best striker in the world, golden boot winner, assist leader in the league. It's just what's happening to football. Garnacho's pants. I like Canate, so Canate who? Yeah, Juventus moving off of Danilo. Interesting. Obviously, plays a part in the Skriniar situation as well. One thing I love about last window was the Odebear. Odebear, yeah? Love me some Odebear, mate. Yeah, Dean, we are closing on we are closing in on sorting out personal terms, supposedly. Vlahovic scores his goals where Haaland does. Can we get balls into him hard enough for Solanke? Yeah, I don't want Vlahovic. Not at all. Werner out and use it. I'm just scared of bringing a good player. Yeah, Cozy. The issue, like I said, with the Werner situation is Leipzig have all the power in that deal. If Leipzig do not want him back, they will not have him back, and we will be keeping him. So there you go. Diaz to Villa. Yeah, something about Diaz and Villa might happen again. I wouldn't be shocked. Yeah, don't worry. We're not taking 200k of Muani. Don't worry. Morning, Martin. How are you, mate? But anyway, moving on, because we've got some more stuff about the Marcus Rashford situation, because I said to you there is another club that supposedly is involved. Just saw something else that was hilarious. Ben Jacobs saying that West Ham are the latest club to consider a loan deal for Marcus Rashford. But the club sense that he is more likely to join a team outside of England, but have been asked to be kept informed. Now, this is fascinating. Again, we are talking about, he wants to maybe play abroad. Well, If that's the case, then he won't be coming to Spurs. Which, if you're not a Marcus Rashford wanter, then you'd be happy to hear about that. I think we have. I think, look, like I said, I compared like Kolo Muani and Rashford. I think if they both played 10 out of 10, I think Rashford's probably a little bit better. But you don't get 10 out of 10 from Rashford. You might get it once a season. And I'm not paying 325 grand a week for once a season of a 10 out of 10 performance. Kolo Muani, I think, probably is going to give you a bit more. He's a bit cheaper and he's more versatile and he's willing to press. He's willing to do the work that we ask our attackers to do. Like, you watched Son yesterday, right? People said Son's finished, Son's tired, Son's this, that, and the other. He don't half work hard, doesn't he? He works really hard defending and tracking back. You asking Rashford to do that? Because I've seen Rashford give up with someone who's in front of him, let alone him chasing someone back. Not a chance. More chance of Keir Starmer winning in the UFC. Damn, that is a rogue one. I can't see Rashford going to any Premier League team as deep down he think he's, well, he might be. Yeah, and look. Obviously, Milan and Juventus being those two teams, PSG might be, someone that's interested in a Rashford. That's another team you could factor into the deals, and that might make it easier for those sort of deals when it comes to, getting deals to swap deals and things like that. So it's definitely something I think it's something to think about. So I saw something I thought I want to bring in, but I'm not going to. That's fair enough, Neil. Problem is we can't get rid of Werner unless Leipzig take him back. So whether we want him or not, unless Leipzig want him, are happy to have him back, he's staying. Imagine the work rate of Rashford and Johnson on our wings. Oh my God. Be awful. Be awful. And I started to see Yang versus Tamworth. Look, even though he didn't play yesterday, I was thrilled to see Yang on the bench. Thrilled to see Yang on the bench. And yeah, hopefully him and Mikey play against Tamworth. Lancashire, I'm hoping he might. I mean, Alfie Dorrington. Does Alfie Dorrington feature against Tamworth? Just saying, it might be someone like that. Alfie Dorrington maybe featuring a little bit at Tamworth. Sergio Reguilon, I'd say he'd probably be in line to feature against Tamworth. I would say they'd probably get Kinski and goal again. If not, it'd be Austin. Obviously, I'll do my preview tomorrow, so I'm not going to worry about it too much now. But yeah. No, I don't. Would I take Liam Delap? Yeah, he would fit our style. Yeah. He can link up play, powerful runner, good finisher, athletic, can hold up the ball, could win a foul or two. Yeah, I would take him, but I don't see Spurs going for him, Percy. If we did, it'd be a summer move, and by that point, I think he moves from Ipswich by the end of the season. Although I did see Ipswich sign in Philogene from Aston Villa. Villa did some business in the summer that they are really paying for at the moment. I mean, Illing Jr. didn't work; he's already gone. Philogene, he's already gone. Something weird happened there with those deals. Like I said, pretty much said keep Werner. Yeah. Lancashire was time. Yeah. Do you think you could take injured Mickey in a full field sprint? No. I used to be very quick. I was about 6 stone lighter, though. I was probably about 20, 25 kilograms lighter. I was very quick, I'd say. Now, I might have him over 5 yards. Might. If he's injured. If he's fully healthy, I'm screwed. But if he's injured, maybe over 5 yards. But he'd still have me with a pulled hammy. He'd still have me with like a ruptured hamstring injury. Like, he'd still have me then. Do you think Lang has a secret out left back and works because Dorgu has gone quiet and there weren't anymore? I would love Dorgu. But it has gone quiet, hasn't it? So I'm not too sure. Best 100-meter time. For me, or do you mean Mickey? That's quicker than a 6'4". Yeah, don't know if it's true, but the show needs going around. We're interested. Jack goes. That was something that was talked about a little while ago, but I don't see Grealish leaving at Manchester City. It was someone that I would have wanted a few years ago as well, but he's expensive now. He's older, and he also doesn't stay fit enough. What was my best 100-meter time, mate? I was more of a 200-meter guy, but if I was working it out, I'd probably say my quickest 100-meter time. We never really did it at school. I don't know why. Probably say about 12 seconds is probably my guess. Maybe just over. Maybe just over, I think. Tamworth Watch, I'd like to see all the kids, give some of the players a rest. Imagine the backlash we lost. Well, no, I still expect there to be a few big names on the bench. I thought Grish was going back to Aston Villa, I don't know. If he's injured, he'll fit in perfectly the rest of the squad then. Yeah, Redknapp going, I wouldn't want to play for Ange. It's like, mate, you wouldn't last 3 seconds in this system. All right? You went faster than me at 11 seconds. Right, you and me, Jonathan, can link up. We'll have a race, shall we? Probably need about 3 to 5 business days to get my hamstrings warmed up, ready for it. But you know what I mean. Austin Gray, Dorrington, Dragajin, Spence, Madison, Bova, Sa, Yang, Lancashire, Moore/Werner. Cozy, bring that attitude. Bring that attitude to the preview tomorrow, mate. We'll talk about it there. And what about bringing a couple of loanies back? Nah, I don't see it happening. Hey, Donny, you're right. I'm a grandpa now, and I'll still do it. You still beat me, mate. You'll still beat me. Like I said, I'm about 25 to 30 kilograms too heavy for that game. I was more of a football pitch quick. That was my thing. Football pitch quick. I wasn't a sprinter quick. Get him on a football pitch or a rugby pitch. I was good on there as well. Quite quick there as well. If Lancashire and Dorrington can't play against Tamworth, who can they play against? I mean, is that hockey pitch? Bloody hockey pitch. No, nothing heard on that one, Gamecock. But look, looking at it, obviously, Spurs' last 6 wins against Man City, Aston Villa, Man City, Southampton, Manchester United, and Liverpool. Make it make sense. Look, rounding up, obviously, Kolo Muani, that deal, I believe, is progressing. I think this could be a deal we could get done this week, potentially. Now, we'll see how that one works out, but I think that deal is something that's probably the hottest of all our deals. That'll be the hot one. I think, look, Skriniar, I do not see happening. I think Skriniar is going elsewhere. Don't want him anyway. Douglas Luiz, nothing on him at the moment. There may be something coming out a bit later. Make sure you hit the bell notification to know when I go live, because obviously if breaking news happens, I will go live. Rashford in talks with a lot of teams in the Serie A. Other clubs in the Premier League are interested. I don't think we will be involved there, though. I don't. I think we can do better as well. Just at least in form-wise, we can do better with a guy who's more and more in form. And in terms of centre-back area, centre-back and left-back is a quiet situation at the moment. We could have a bomber come out of nowhere and go, Spurs have agreed a deal to sign blank. Patrick Dorgu. Just saying. I'd love it to be Patrick Dorgu, but I will see on that side of things. I think the striker/winger/other winger, basically an attacker, I think that's the deal that's most likely right now, but we shall see on that side of things. Okay. A few last comments. Archgrove at limping. We'll see about that one. Do you think Phillips will be sent back on loan for next season? We'll see about that one. I don't know right now. We sell Austin Summer. He's a good player. Let's not show his career like we've done with many. I think we'll get a striker. Yeah, I think, well, Kolo Muani would be a striker/winger. Who would you go for if you could? Patrick Dorgu. Yeah, well, Milan or Juventus, Neil. Lange likes to do his deals quietly. That's absolutely. We're not getting Kvaradonna. We're not getting him. Do you think big win versus Paul is a good omen for the transfer window? Well, I think it shows to teams, hey, look, we're injury riddled right now. Don't look at the league table. Look at the situation we're dealing with. We want you, because you're going to come in, you're going to play, and you're going to be massive for us. And look, even with a injury-riddled team with like 10 players out, we still beat the best team in the world. We beat Man City 4-0 away from home. We beat him at home 2-1. We slapped Villa. Like, we can beat these big boys. Not an issue. Not an issue. Just need to get fit. And that's what you say to players. You go, look, we've got some injury issues right now. We do. But you coming in here now, you're going to be massive right away, and you'll be massive for the season ahead. Because let's be honest. You look at the league table and think, oh, we're quite far behind. A good month would change that completely. It changes that completely. If we have a good January, which so far, okay, Newcastle wasn't great. Totally get that. Great win in the cup. You beat Tamworth. You through into the fourth round of the FA Cup. You got Arsenal, right? You got Hoffenheim and Elfsborg at the end of the month. So all three competitions have massive games this month. Not Premier League aside. Premier League's every month. That's why I don't count it for this one's sake. But League Cup, 1. Tamworth at the weekend. Europa League, we've got 2 games at the end of this month, which is the end of the group stage or the league first initial league phase. I don't know what you want to call it. That's why it's a huge month. And that's why Ange's like, we need to get players in and early because we're going to need them. And if like when you think of Kinski, right? Because Vic's still obviously not 100%. He's off the walking boot and he's doing a bit of gym work, but he's still going to be a little while away, right? It's a broken ankle, right? If you think about the Europa League games, we got someone in early doors. We threw him to the Wolves yesterday. We threw him against the best team in the world, and he was brilliant. I'd give him Tamworth and go, look, you're playing again against Tamworth. And then you're going to be playing Arsenal in the week. I mean, that's a hell of a day. That's a hell of a trio of games. I mean, you go from like Liverpool, Tamworth down here because they're in the National League, Arsenal away. If he gets through these games and looks good, what a signing. Because then when you come to the end of the month, it's Europa League time, which I wonder when they actually get to change the squads. I mean, they might not play him in those games, but we'll see. But also, we got Liverpool early on in February for the Anfield second leg. Building up momentum, form, and positivity and confidence in the player. It's the same thing if you were to, let's say you did get Kolo Muani on Saturday, the 11th of January. He was never going to play against Tamworth, but if he gets, let's say, 2 days worth of training ahead of Arsenal, you're dropping a guy who was bought for about 80 million, what was it, 95 million euros? So we'll call it 85 million. He was bought 85 million 2 years ago. You just drop him into your squad ahead of that game against Arsenal, who are missing Saka, who are missing Nwaneri, I think his name is, Ben White. Obviously, they'll tell you they're missing like 12 players, but actually they're missing like 3. That's why it's such a great thing to get players in early. It's one thing I've been saying about Daniel Levy for so long. He wanted to win the negotiation. Let me win that negotiation. It's going to take 3 months and it's going to be the end of January. It's like, it's going to be end of August. Season's already started. We could have had him in 6 weeks ago. I will win the negotiation because it makes me look better. Actually, if you just kind of go, let's just get him in. Because you win the negotiation with the fact that he's going to win you points, which makes you money. You'll make that up tenfold. So, with that deal like Kolo Muani, getting him in early, I think would change a lot of things towards the back end of the month, towards February and beyond. Because you've got to think, right, we're going to be into at least at the worst case scenario, into the playoffs of the Europa League, right? That's the worst case. We could obviously still get in the top 8 and go straight through. But obviously, if it's the Europa League and we go through the next batch, you're going to need some of these guys to be ready to go, We'd love a run at 6 wins. Oh, wouldn't we all? If we can do City and Liverpool, we can do anyone. Beating Arsenal away would be legendary. Absolutely. He's not playing. Well, there you go then. Fair enough. Only teams that have not beaten us yet is Arsenal, Newcastle, Forest. Arsenal win next week. Newcastle at the League Cup final and Forest later in the year. I'm asking for much. No, mate, we'll be there. I don't want Arsenal in the final because if they beat us, they'll sing about that every day for the rest of their lives. Give me Newcastle. Got more faith that we can beat Newcastle as well. If we do get Kolo, now he can play in the group games. Well, obviously, PSG are a Champions League side. So there's the other thing there. Spurs are on their way to Wembley. You love it. But anyway, thank you so much for joining me this morning. Go and enjoy the rest of your afternoons, mornings, evenings, wherever you're in the world. Go and enjoy it. Hit the bell notification because if Transfer News breaks, we will go live to talk about, hey, CDC, mate, how are you? And we should hopefully, if not, be back later. If not, tomorrow, Tamworth preview. We will be there. I will be watching some Tamworth football today. What a life I live. Get a Big Daddy Andy on the sideline. Get me on there. Oh, you want some? I'll have. Ange, sit down. I'll take this red card. But look, we'll see how we go. Thanks very much for joining, everyone. Take yourselves and go and have a lovely day. Turbo Tiba, how can I help? Absolutely. Take care, everyone. Thanks very much. Peace.